Welcome back to Bahamian Mathematics. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share to see more videos just like this one on this YouTube channel. Today we will be writing ratios. We will look at writing them in three different ways. Like this, and like this. Let's take a look. Look at the fruit below. We have apples and we have oranges. We're going to compare the two quantities by counting each fruit separately. So let's put the apples on the left. There's one. There's another one that looks like 3, another one more, here we go. And now let's put the oranges on the right hand side. There's another and one more. And so now we have the apples and the oranges separately, and we'll count the apples 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 apples and 1, 2, 3, 4 oranges. And so if we compared apples to oranges, we say we have 6 apples. 2, we have 4 oranges. And so we have 6 apples to 4 oranges. Now what did we just do? We compared two quantities, the apples and the oranges. There were 6 apples, there were 4 oranges, and when we put the word 2 in the middle, we now have a comparison between the apples and the oranges. This is a ratio when we compare two quantities. We also can write the ratio like this, with a colon in between. That reads as 6 to 4. And we also can write it like this, 6 over 4. That looks like a fraction. And so the three ways to write a ratio: 1, using the word 2, 2, using a colon, and 3, as a fraction. Let's look at some more. The order that we write the ratio is important. And if we look at the apples and oranges again, we remember we had 6 apples and 4 oranges. And so the ratio is 6 to 4, which again we can write like this with a colon, 6 to 4, and also as a fraction, 6 over 4, which reads as 6 to 4. But if we had oranges first and then apples, it would be 4 oranges and 6 apples. This would read as 4 to 6, or 4 colon 6. Or 4 over 6. We can see that this is different from the original one at the left, where we had apples first and then oranges, which was 6 to 4. Oranges first and then apples gives us 4 to 6. So the order is important. Now let's find the ratio given these shapes of circles to triangles. And so what that means is we have to first count the circles, and then count the triangles, and then compare them. So let's put the circles on the left. Here's one circle, here's another one, another circle, another circle, and one more circle. And now the triangles are left, and we will put all of them on the right hand side, and then we will start to count them. So let's count the circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circles. And now the triangles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we have 7 circles, and we have 5 triangles, and the ratio is 7 to 5. We can write it with a colon, that's 7 to 5, or we can write it as a ratio 7 over 5. Now let's find the ratio of green shapes to red shapes. So again, we compare the quantities by counting each shape separately. Let's put the green shapes on the left side. Here's one green shape, another green shape, and another green shape. And on the right hand side, the red shapes. And that is it. And so we count them now. 1, 2, 3 green shapes, 1, 2 red shapes. And our ratio of green shapes to red shapes is 3 to 2. Again, we can write it as 3 colon 2, which reads as 3 to 2. Or 3 over 2, which again reads as 3 to 2. And lastly, let's compare yellow circles to blue triangles. We compare them by counting each shape separately. Let's put the yellow circles on the left, 1, there's another one, and the blue triangles on the right, and we're done. And now we count them 1, 2, 1, 2, and we write them as a ratio. We have 2 yellow circles and 2 blue circles. The ratio is 2 to 2. Written with a colon, 2 to 2, or as a fraction, 2 over 2. Now let's put this into practice. Write the ratio of hearts to stars. So we count the hearts. We can see that there are 5. We count the stars, there are 3. So the ratio is 5 to 3. This is using the word 2. Now let's write it with a colon, 5 to 3. And as a fraction, 5 over 3. The next one, here are some forks and spoons. And if we wanted to write the ratio of spoons to forks, even though the forks are pictured first, we want the ratio of spoons to forks. So we have to count the spoons first, and we see that there are 3. And there are 4 forks, so the ratio is 3 to 4. We write it with a colon, 3 to 4. And then as a fraction, 3 over 4. And lastly, we have pencils and sharpeners. And if we wanted to write the ratio of pencils to sharpeners, we count the pencils. We see there are 8 and there are 2 sharpeners. So the ratio is 8 to 2. With a colon, 8 to 2. And as a fraction, 8 over 2. But let's look at that last diagram again with pencils to sharpeners. 8 to 2. Are the ratios written in lowest terms? Which means, can I divide 8 and 2 by another number to give me smaller numbers? If I can, that means this is not written in lowest terms yet, and we need to try to write them in lowest terms. And so we find the factors of 8, and the factors of 8 are the numbers that when multiplied give me 8, and I know that is 1, 2, 4, and 8. And then we find the factors of 2. What 2 numbers can we multiply to give us 2? Well, only 1 and 2 give us 2 when multiplied. And the highest common factor, when we look, the common factors are 1 and 2, and the highest one out of 1 and 2 is 2. So if we take the 2 and we divide 8 by 2, we get 4. We take the 2 and we divide that by 2, we get 1. So in lowest terms, this ratio is really 4 to 1. Or 4 colon 1, which is 4 to 1, or 4 over 1. And what this really means is for every 4 pencils, there is 1 sharpener. It compares the 2 quantities, and this is called a ratio. And now it's quiz time. Write the ratio of stars to moons. Time's up. Stars, there are 5. Moons, there are 2. So stars to moons is 5 to 2. Number 2. Write the ratio of coconuts to watermelon. Time's up. 6 coconuts and 1 watermelon gives us a ratio of 6 to 1. Question 3. Write the ratio of marlins to flamingos in lowest terms. Did you get it? There are 2 marlins and 4 flamingos, but each one of those numbers can be divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our ratio is 1 to 2. Number 4. Write the ratio of 5-cent pieces to 10-cent pieces. Time's up. There are 5 5-cent pieces and 12 10-cent pieces. So the answer is 5 to 12. And last question. Write the ratio of quarters to all coins. Did you get it? There are 7 quarters and there are 5 10-cent pieces, which makes 7 plus 5, 12. Quarters to all coins gives us a ratio of 7 to 12. And now you've solved the mystery of how to write ratios. Well done.